Welcome to the Genuine Content Podcast with your hosts, Jay and Josh. Jay, this is going to be a quick take, rapid fire episode. We're literally just coming through on some live stuff because we found some information that was directly related to something that we had previously just recorded on, and we got to put it out there. We got to bring it to the streets. So, what's good, man?
Yo, it's crazy, man. We last night we recorded a good episode just about cancel culture. So it's funny. We're gonna release this even before the actual episode 2. So this is how fresh this information is. We did it, talked about Kanye, and then I'm kind of doing my thing. You text me, I'm like, oh God, look at that, man. We talked about Kanye, and like, boom, something crazy happened. I'm like, you know what? Can we wait? Do we have to wait on another episode, or do we just give our audience like just a quick take? It's not gonna be a full episode, just something about how we feel about what just happened.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm just scrolling through Twitter, just like minding my own business, like looking for my general football intel and all that good stuff. And all of a sudden, I see this article, and I'm pulling up the headline right now. Kanye West and Adidas reach an agreement to sell $500 million worth of remaining Yeezy sneakers. Now, obviously, this is a report, so probably waiting on more confirmation and something official from either side of the deal. But at the end of the day, the fact that this is even a story, that this is even a potential report, especially based on the perceived cancellation of Kanye West based on what he's said, his sound bites over the last couple of years, is just truly remarkable in the sense of it's it's wild. It doesn't make any sense, but at the end of the day, it almost seems like Kanye won this whole thing because of what he said on, was it Drink Champs, Jay, when he said I could say whatever and not get canceled?
It started on Drink Champs. Yeah, I think if memory serves me right, he went on a bunch of podcasts prior to Drink Champs, or he went on different shows, and he wants to say some anti-Semitic things, and a lot of places didn't give him the platform. It was like, we're not even going to release this. Like once he was saying stuff, they cut it, or once he, usually when you interview people, you kind of do a briefing beforehand, and I guess he said what he was going to say, and no one was comfortable with it. And Drink Champs was the only platform to do that because Nori has a good relationship with Kanye. They had a successful interview prior, and man, he just said some wild stuff, and yeah, he said you can't. Adidas can't fire me. Like, he's basically uncancelable, or like he was saying some stuff, and he was wrong, and now he's right. It's like you almost can't cancel him because, I mean, I'll let you go a little bit more about that. But like, that's kind of like the background a little bit of Kanye and Adidas. He says something, you can't cancel me. The next day, they broke the contract. They broke the 10-year Adidas deal with them. And, Kanye went from a billionaire to not no more. And look, look where we're at now a few months later.
And so I'm not even sure if this adds salt to the wound, if you will, but apparently this contract appears to focus completely on just the sale of inventory and Yeezy equipment, Yeezy gear that already exists that Adidas frankly was not able to sell, even though they were in the works of rebranding Yeezy apparel without the brand itself, but still keeping the designs.
Yeah, basically, I think what my understanding was, instead of like Yeezy Boost 350s or Yeezy Boost 700s, there's going to just be Adidas Boost 350s or just Adidas 350s. Just take the Yeezy name out of it, but it's going to be the same exact shoe, or everything's the same. They were just going to take that name off, but whatever legal reason, I don't know the logistics of it, but whether that can happen or not, whether Kanye owns the patent, or I don't know, but Adidas were going to do it. I mean, that was the original plan.
Interesting stuff. And further on in this article, this report, this news comes on the heels, and I'm directly quoting this part, of Adidas announcing that they expect to take a $1.3 billion hit as a result of dropping the controversial entertainer earlier this month.
Yeah, and I think what's even funnier is I don't know if it's in the article. I know this from prior the prior articles. Um, Adidas was very big and bad. They said that we're gonna eat this. It's only gonna be about what $250 million loss. So it's like okay, we'll eat that loss because we're gonna send a message. That was what I got from it. We're gonna send this message.
Right.
250 million. It's a lot of money, but for Adidas, we'll eat that on principle. And no, they said that the loss was bigger than expected. Obviously, now it's 1.3 billion, and they were sitting on $500 million worth of Yeezys. So they figured, hey, we'll work with Kanye for now, and then we'll see from there. I mean, just with all this information we got within the last few hours, like, what do you even think? Like, how does that make you feel? What do you even think about all this now?
Yeah, there's so many layers to this, right? Like part one is almost like, okay, so is this just money talks, BS walks type of situation where you can get canceled until that bottom line, you see the inventory, you see the dollar signs get dropped, and you're like, maybe we got to walk this one back a little bit. Like, I don't know. Adidas about to take a L. 1.3 billion in any market, any industry sets you back. But it just goes to show you the power of one individual and the the hypocrisy that literally that cancel culture can be, right?
Mm-hmm. You know what? Like, honestly, the best way for me to sum up everything is Adidas, you're a sellout. Completely sellout. Like, you know what? Like, don't take the high ground. Don't take the PC look and like, no, we're behind this. You know, he's anti-Semitic. This is against our brand. Yada yada yada. And oh, because we took a $1.3 billion hit, which you should expect it. Like, no one's really rocking Adidas like that if it ain't Yeezys. And I mean, Josh, you've been to my house. Like, I have how many shoes? And I got like two Adidas. I'm rocking
Yeah.
Nikes and Jordans, man. Like, I got the Yeezy slides and I got some Dragon Ball Z Adidas. Like, I'm not really rocking Adidas or anything like that. But you know what? Once they start hitting their pocket, they sold themselves out. Like, oh no, we'll work with Kanye again. So it's like it goes two ways. It's like Adidas, you're a sellout, or another way to think of it is, you know, if maybe I consider Adidas an ally because Kanye said some anti-Semitic things, and I can't support that, and an organization like Adidas had my back and say, you know what, this is bigger than money, this is about principle, and now you're going back to him. It's like that's a slap in my face. Like you just slapped me so hard, like behind my back. I thought we was cool, and then you're just gonna go right back to Buddy because of money. Money talks,
Yeah.
and like if you're like the Jewish community, like this is like with everything, with a lot of the anti-Semitic things that was happening in the past few months with Kanye and other people, other celebrities. This is a big L. Like you look really bad. Like it's like you. What kind of like what kind of respect does the Jewish community even have now? Like we were behind you, and now not no more because I'm validating your feelings, but not for 1.3 billion dollars. I don't validate it.
I mean, to put it on brand, this is a Judas behind move, right? Like this is 30 pieces of silver right here. This is absolutely ridiculous. But I want to take it on a different note too, right? Like obviously Adidas wouldn't have pulled this move off if they didn't think that they could actually sell the product, right? So what is the true court of public opinion on this and on what Kanye West was actually saying? Because at the end of the day, for them to bring him back, they obviously did their due diligence to know that he's still gonna move some of these shoes or some of this apparel, right?
Oh yeah, man. People still want Yeezys, man. Trust me. Like again, I don't rock Adidas, but those Yeezy 350s, I heard they're real comfortable. I want a pair. Like I want a pair for comfortability. I got the Yeezy slides. Those are my go-to airport slides. Man, if I'm gonna be on my feet for a while, they're real comfortable. Like between those and Crocs, and to me, the Yeezy slides are more comfortable than Crocs. And a lot of people are like more like vocal, like on the message boards or like online and such. But a lot of people were behind Kanye, didn't think he said anything wrong, and they said, "Well, screw Adidas." Like, I'm rocking with Kanye. And people, I remember when Kanye was trying to sell his brand into other companies like Skechers and such. Like he was gonna try to make Skechers cool. People were ready to follow that. Like, hey, wherever Kanye goes, I'm gonna rock those shoes. And there were people that I know who was like, well, if they're really doing that to Kanye, I'm just not gonna buy no Adidas. Like, I'm not gonna really like Adidas is not really cool anyway. So if you're really not gonna sell Yeezys, I don't want it. Or you're gonna sell me these off-brand Yeezys, these fake Yeezys, like nah. And the market spoke because I remember during the holidays, I wanted to get my sister some Yeezys. She wanted that. I was like, okay, let me look. Her Yeezy shoes are like retails about $220. Man, they were going $500, $600, $700, man. Because one, you ain't making no more, and two, like they're Kanye, they're Yeezys. Like people are like, that's my boy. I'm still gonna rock his shoes. Whether they know whether what he was saying was offensive or not. Like, I think Kanye is a brand. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, how many artists have their own basketball and running shoes? Like, he was such a big deal for having his own Nikes when he had like one of the most legendary shoes, like the Yeezy October, the Red Octobers. Like, those go for so much money now. Like, they're like tens of thousands of dollars because they're like 10-year-old shoes. And then he goes to Adidas and he's selling shoes for like over $200 when you can buy a lot of Nikes, a lot of Jordans for less than that. He said, no, like, I'm gonna spend, like, you're gonna pay for my brand. And Kanye at this point, I don't agree with what he said, like, with everything going on, how offensive he was. But I'll tell you one thing he was right on. Like, he's Kanye. He's bigger than Adidas. He's bigger than a lot of people. And the market spoke.
I mean, I think this is literal proof of that point. And kind of going back to and just kind of putting this in a bow when it comes to cancellation in and of itself, right? Where is the accountability when it comes to Adidas making this move? Because at the end of the day, Kanye West is one person. Mind you, he's a massive brand in and of himself, but he's a person with his own, thoughts, feelings, and whatever. It's a silo, if you will. But Adidas has many, like it's a whole organization, CEO, COO, all sorts of C-suite leaders comprised with every single global department, right? And as a unified front, they brought him back. So when it comes to canceling, who really takes the accountability at this point? If you will,
That's what we talked about.
That is a big decision to be made, and everybody has to be on the same to bring him back on this, right?
I mean, we talked
Adidas
about
at this point.
I mean, think about what we talked about in the episode that we didn't even release yet. A cancel culture is supposed to be about accountability. Who is accountable? Kanye. We didn't hold Kanye accountable. Now we didn't hold, like. You gotta imagine somebody up in like whatever those higher ups. Someone has to be Jewish, and you still did that. Like what? Like, that's wild.
1.3 billion. Is it? Is it wild?
You know what? I know I always knew this, and as we get older, it becomes more and more apparent. But like, money beats morality, man. People would do a lot.
It's a
People would do
shame,
so
man.
much for money, man. Because you know what? Like if you're Adidas, like, it could have went out there that you're gonna lose 1.3 billion, and you could have like sent a message that, you know what, that's a lot of money. Whether that makes us bankrupt or not, like, we'll find a way to kind of manage. Like, we're not selling our soul to the devil, quote unquote, right? Like, we're not gonna sell out. He says something we're totally against. He tried us, saying, you can't fire me, you can't cancel me, you need me. And Kanye's like, you know what, I'll take the initial loss, because I'm playing the long game, and he won. You look stupid. Like you look really stupid, Adidas.
Well, this is 2023, right? I mean,
At the time of this podcast, yeah,
yeah, whew,
it doesn't
man,
surprise me.
it surprised me a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie to you because at the end of the day, you would have imagined that they would have made an example out of Kanye or something like that. Like that's what you usually get in scenarios like this. Like, oh,
That's what they said.
but he made an example out of Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
And God knows what's gonna happen next. Like, what's gonna happen after they sell the $500 million worth of inventory? Like they were very vague on that on the article. It's just like, oh, nothing past that is confirmed. Anything? We're just gonna sell the inventory. It's like, no, you're probably gonna sell out all the inventory by the end of the year. You're gonna see how that 1.3 billion just slowly goes down, and it's like now you're profitable again. It's like, okay, well now what we're gonna do?
You're gonna have some basketball campaigns. You're gonna have some commercials. Reinforcing their love for the Jewish community. You're gonna see a couple. You're gonna see a couple media takes just to kind of ease it up a little bit, and some good PR moves, if you will. But I just think the damage is done. Like, what are you really going to do to make up for this?
They have no leverage. If I'm Kanye, I hold all the leverage. I'm gonna go to them. You need to give me $2 billion. And what are you gonna say? You're gonna lose another 1.3, and then in a few months, like I know my worth. Nothing's more dangerous than knowing exactly how much you're worth. Think about it. Think about your job right now, and then you realize you're probably underpaid, or you just kind of want to see your market value. Maybe you go on LinkedIn. Maybe like you're on LinkedIn. So am I. Like every now and then you get these messages of, we have openings. You want to interview? And one of the best advice people give me is, you always interview, even when you're not going to take a job, not for money or anything like that, but to be on your toes. It's a good skill to have. It's a really good skill because in life, you're always being interviewed one way or another.
Absolutely. And it also keeps your eyes open to the market itself, right? Like, okay, so what are the salaries looking at right now? Like, what's the market rate for my skill set right now? Like, I grew here, I got the certificate here. How much is that really worth? And what I think we found out is that Adidas isn't worth a dime.
No, because the thing about it, let's just say your job, I don't know how much you make. I don't ask people how much they make. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Let's just say your job pays you $40,000 a year. You go on an interview, and the same field and everything a job says, man, with your experience, it's all the knowledge and such, or certification, we're gonna give you 90 a year. You can go to your job all big and bad, like, hey, you match it, or well, here's my 2 weeks. And you can either match me, show that my loyalty is rewarded. You're sending a good message to like your coworkers and such, or you can lose me. People find out how much I make, and now you're gonna spend a lot of money trying to find my replacement.
Oh yeah,
find my replacement and try to have an equivalent skill set as me, in my experience. Like you're just like you're gonna be very big headed when you know how much you're worth. And Kanye now knows that. Like Adidas is screwed, man. Like,
and if people were calling him narcissistic before,
but I don't blame him now.
Now it's just like, all right, well, proof is in the pudding. Like,
if I knew that I'm worth $1.3 billion, like my head is so elevated, it's so inflated. It's like, man.
You gotta stay genuine, bro.
1.3. Think about that, man. Like you like Adidas is like a top 5 shoe company, right? Like you got Nike, Jordan, and such. Believe it or not, I think I heard like Skechers is actually one of the top brands because of like the comfort of their shoes. Or it's not cool, they're popular. Like a lot of people in different fields use that. So like Adidas is up there, but but Kanye is like basically, I made you. You're okay, and I made you. And you have all these basketball players, you have all these football players under you, and you still lost $1.3 billion. I'm an artist. You
Yeezy's
don't make
jumped
shoes
over the
for
jump man,
artists.
bro. Yeezy's jumped
No,
over
no,
the
no, no,
jump.
no. I can't do that. But
Allegedly.
I don't know. But I mean, end of the day, Adidas look bad both ways. They're sellouts. Um, I just want to know, how do Jewish people who felt offended by Kanye, how do they feel? Like that's what I want to know. Like it's like I kind of want to like reach my hand out, like, yo, like, are you good? Because like it was a slap to your community. Like I can imagine if like Kanye just disrespected Hispanic community, talked all this junk, like very bad things, and then companies that I like basically canceled them, and then from the say, no, 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 no. I can't cancel you because money's more important. I will be so hurt. I would be like,
I
I
mean,
wouldn't
he
even know how to feel
disrespected
because,
me.
yeah.
And he looks like me. So what the fuck?
So it's like, you know what? I mean, because if I'm a Jewish person, I'm like, yo, money's more important than me. You just proved it. I'm a number, and I'm not a high enough number. I'm at 1.3 billion.
Tisk, tisk.
So
But there we are. We wanted to bring this to everybody live, instant. This is a quick take, genuine content podcast with Jay and Josh. Whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comments on this episode. Also, follow us on all your major streaming platforms. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We're on YouTube as well. If that's your platform for any podcast videos, we're on there too. Genuine content. We're out. Jay, appreciate you coming on for this quick take, man. I know it's late night.
hey man, I don't stop. The grind doesn't stop, man. This has to be talked about. We'll make time. People don't realize, man, when things like this happen, we'll make time, man. We'll do a podcast on our phone. Don't
Yeah.
matter.
So if anyone finds anything as well and wants us to give an opinion on it and talk about it in greater discussion, bring it out to the universe, let us know. Let us know.
And you know what? This might be just a future episode. Like maybe we can just dedicate a whole Kanye episode, or Kanye versus Adidas episode. I guess it really depends on what we know more. Like just so much limited information. So I think once we get more information, that'll probably be an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah. The brand versus the artist, right? Like who's the actual brand here? I think we found out. Which is kind of disappointing at the same time because everything that was said was just that took the life out of me as a fan, of course. But it's neither here nor there. If we have that second follow up, we'll bring it to you. But listen to us, subscribe, like,
leave a review.
share what your thoughts are. Even if they're in the completely opposite direction, we want to hear about it. But this is genuine content once again. I'll be easy. Take care.
All right, peace.